It is the arena coming to you live from our studios in Lagos, Nigeria, iBrandTV precisely. And I'm not doing this alone. I've got with me Abraham Victor to make sense of all of these in terms of the impact of Russia's invasion of Ukraine on sports, as well as reviewing NBA games now that the All-Star game or All-Star weekend, as it were, is over. And more importantly, we'll delve into the world of other sports. You can be rest assured we'll also bring you sports business news. Victor, welcome to the show.
It's always a pleasure to be here.
Good
Thank
afternoon.
you so much.
You're looking different, you know.
Yes, so
the Friday's here.
yes. Thank God it's Friday.
Okay, let's start from basketball before we delve into what seems like a political discourse, but we cannot, dispute the fact that it has its own impact on sports. So let's start with the NBA. I mean, the All-Star weekend, done and dusted. The Warriors were in action at the wee hours of today. 4 losses in 5 games. Finally, they were able to get a win. And it wasn't the explosive way you'd see it. Maybe Curry dropping 40 points. It's almost like everyone shared responsibilities around Warriors getting the win. What do you make of it?
Well, I think it's a big statement to the league. Curry not just going out there and just putting in the numbers, but also getting every other players, on the court and on the roster, involved. You could see someone like a Kuminga dropping, I think, 13 points. You could see someone like a Poole. Klay Thompson was also very active. Wingers, everybody was involved. Everybody was involved. So that is the beauty of the Golden State. So coming back from back-to-back defeats, it just shows that, hey, they went back and they had to tell themselves, this is the last
stretch of the
regular season. So, and you have to win to make sure that you are in a good standing going into the playoffs. So every team right now will take their matches very serious, and Golden State have made a very, very strong statement with this win.
Not because even with CJ McCollum in the side, they would have won, but how much of an impact do you think the loss of CJ McCollum will be to the Blazers especially?
Well, the Blazers' injury has been a problem to them. Dame has been out, for most of the season, so, and even when he was around, he wasn't at his best. He was just even trying to pick up, before the injury came back again. So it's not looking good for them, and it's something that is worrisome. Right, for that team. Right now, it's looking like they are beginning to rebuild. They are getting Simmons doing what he's doing. So they are putting in some younger folks in there. I won't be surprised if Dame is traded next season. I won't be surprised, because right now that team looks like they need to go back to the drawing board and start building for the future.
Chelsea owner Roman Abramovich, who is a very close ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin, is at the risk of losing his ownership of Chelsea Football Club, as well as all other assets he has in Britain. And this is as a result of UK sanctions coming up that would impact, on certain oligarchs, of which, Abramovich is one of them. You have the MP, the British MP, one of them had to even speak out, and it's a bill right now on the floor. You have the sanctions, and then you have Abramovich with Putin on several occasions. How does this affect Chelsea as a football club going forward?
Well, Chelsea as a football club should brace themselves for, what is coming. Because I don't see these sanctions being lifted anytime soon. So it's something that would definitely affect them. And also, if it affects Chelsea, it will affect UEFA Champions League and also their performance in the EPL. So it's something that I believe right now the management of Chelsea also right now should be having closed door meetings, to know how to navigate this season, because I'm sure that these sanctions are not going to be lifted anytime soon.
Especially with seizure of assets, which is what they're targeting now for various oligarchs that have close ties to the Kremlin and, various financial institutions, among other things. If Abramovich's assets are freezed, bank accounts and what have you, how does Chelsea get financing? So do you think it should probably sell Chelsea at this point, or Chelsea should find a way to look for, I don't know how to even put it, should it be a new buyer, a new sponsor? just to cushion the effects of the sanctions?
As I said again, the management needs to be on a closed-door meeting and begin to think about how to proceed going forward, because this is going to have heavy implication on that football team. One doesn't want Chelsea to go down again.
Yes.
Let's not even begin to think about the possibility of players actually leaving the club. Because there are going to be a lot of implications. This is just the first phase. You don't know about the ripple effect of these things. It might affect players' attitude, players' spirit, players' commitment to the team and all that. So yes, I believe that the management of Chelsea needs to have serious closed-door meeting right now and begin to ask themselves questions how to proceed without Abramovich right now, so that club will not go down with what is happening right now.
Okay, that's Abramovich and Putin. Several instances I said earlier. Still talking football and the impact of Russia. I mean, we have to talk about it. It is what it is. It's a disaster, so to speak, what's happening in Ukraine at this point. And I think the vast majority of the sporting world is definitely condemning what we're seeing in Ukraine at this point in time. But the impacts are still on, and now UEFA is the latest to react to the invasion of Russia in Ukraine by moving the venue of this year's Champions League final from the Gazprom Stadium, which is the home of Zenit St. Petersburg, and the final has now been moved to the Parc des Princes in France, where which is the home of PSG. So UEFA Champions League final is still May 28th, but that has been moved now to Parc des Princes, PSG's home. It was just the right thing to do. I don't think anyone has, objection.
Yeah, one would not be surprised. Again, the EU has had very strong stance when it comes to Russia invasion. So it wouldn't be a surprise that UEFA is actually taking, this step. I'm sure that it might also affect some Russian clubs.
Exactly.
So yes, this is heavy. It's sad, but again, this is what one would expect, UEFA as an organization to do.
Okay, still talking about the impact on football. Remember, German giants as well, Schalke 04, have also decided that they will take out Gazprom as their shirt sponsor. Remember, the Russian state energy or gas, company is the shirt sponsor for Schalke 04, but that would also be taken off. But now let's move on from there quickly and talk about Manchester United in England. Manchester United's commercial partners is Aeroloft Airlines, which is Russia's state-owned airline. Now, Manchester United are set to terminate their contracts with Aeroloft as well, on the basis of all of these. And this is a contract that has brought in over £100 million for United in the course of the last 10 years. The contract is actually due to end next year, but they are looking at terminating the contract now.
Well, again, these are the repercussions. You can't take, politics, right, and its impact on every aspect of, the human life, right?
Yes.
So this is just some of the impact that it is having in the game of football. So again, I believe that with some of these sanctions, right, hopefully, the Russian government would sit down and reconsider their current actions right now, because this is going to have serious implications on the economy of Russia. Only God knows where this is going.
Exactly.
And they can't continue like this as a country. Really, it's not looking good for them at all.
Hopefully, diplomacy wins when it comes to the Russian and Ukraine crisis, as it were, because right now it's an all affront when it comes to war, and that's not something we want, not just on the continent of Europe, but all over the globe. There should be peace on every side. Before we leave this football segment, let's talk about a big one over the weekend. Several, European club matches, but the biggest one has to be the Carabao Cup final between Chelsea and Liverpool. For Chelsea, the results have been more of a struggle, 1-0, 2-1, slow grind out wins. But for Liverpool, it's a full strength team, so to speak, probably with the exception of Roberto Firmino and Diogo Jota. But coming on the back of the 6-0 victory over Leeds United, it seems Liverpool are the favorites for the Carabao Cup final.
All the way. But again, you can't write off Chelsea when it comes to cups, right?
They can always grind it out.
Yes, lately they have been, but I think that with the firepower in in Liverpool, right? I think they are going to win. It might not be great margin, but I think they are going to have a comfortable win over Chelsea.
Over Chelsea.
Yes.
Okay, let's see how that pans out for Liverpool and Chelsea. It's at the iconic Wembley Stadium, and we just hope that the best of football is served.